And a very happy Tuesday to you at 12:07 in the West. It's the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wangs in Culver City.
John, I'm sure you're aware that the John Phillips Show is California's #1 source for all things Labubu, and we do have some Labubu news these days. For more, here's KGO.
All right, there's a new consumer safety alert out for knockoff Labubu dolls, often referred to as Lafufus.
Knockoff Labubu dolls.
They're making counterfeit Labubus.
Are they made with fake Louis Vuitton leather, too?
Apparently, the fake ones are just as ugly as the real ones, but for some reason, these ugly little dolls are a massive collectible, inspiring counterfeits and stealing.
There are certain stories I just don't understand. I'm not even going to pretend like I understand this one.
All right, there's a new consumer safety alert out for knockoff Labubu dolls, often referred to as Lafufus.
What a world. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. Well, now that defrocked Alameda County District Attorney Pamela Price is hosting a podcast and getting even with all of her enemies, she has recently come out with what might be the most wild accusation yet. She is now alleging that In-N-Out Burger is a racist company because they shut down their location in Oakland on the Hagen Burger after they could not ensure the safety of their customers or employees.
Oh, it gets worse than that.
She called me a crime boss.
I might be the only regular subscriber to the Pamela Price Unfiltered podcast, a weekly airing of the grievances, because when people get recalled, it's a level of rejection that most people cannot handle, and so they have to vent out their rage weekly in podcast format. And Pamela Price wanted to talk about the threat of the federal government sending in the National Guard to deal with the crime in Oakland, and she decided that, well, the reason that we're here is because everyone is racist.
That seems about right.
For more, here it is. You're never going to have to subscribe to this podcast because I do it for you, Pammy Price.
According to our new mayor, Barbara Lee, Trump's remarks are fear-mongering and not fact. The fact is, there has been a citywide decline in violent crime, including homicides, robberies, and carjackings.
Wasn't there a double murder over the weekend?
There are so many crime stories from that city. If we did nothing but Oakland crime blotter stories, we wouldn't have time for anything else on this program.
That started in 2024 before the infamous recalls.
Yes, of course. Crime was going down when Pamela Price was DA.
The infamous recalls? How about the successful recalls?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The problem is that for the past 2 years, the right-wing doom loopers spent so much time and money fear-mongering.
Who does she think votes in Oakland?
She seems to be confused on a variety of levels.
The problem is that for the past 2 years, the right-wing doom loopers spent so much time and money fear-mongering, trashing our city and tearing us down.
It wasn't that Oakland was full of crime. It's that people were talking about it.
That's right. And didn't Sheng Tao say that the recall of her was funded by the coal industry?
Yes, it was because she was trying to stop big coal from coming to the port of Oakland, and so coal billionaires from Piedmont were funding the recall.
I love the fact that the two of them think that Oakland, modern-day Oakland, is some kind of Dickens novel.
I'm telling you, there is something that goes through your head when you face a recall that changes you. Gavin Newsom will openly say the recall, the unsuccessful recall, but the recall changed him and made him a different person. And the recall successful of Pamela Price has changed her, and I would assume it changed Chang, but we haven't heard much from Sheng because she's under indictment.
Well, she's finally listening to her attorneys.
That's right. I like that. That was amazing.
Trashing our city and tearing us down. No wonder Trump can say,
But aren't most of the complaints about the crime in Oakland coming from the victims of the crime in Oakland?
Oh, yes, but she believes that they're being taken advantage of.
This guy,
It's wild, wild west out here.
Oaklander,
Who else are we going to call Superman?
Oaklander,
I said, hell no, baby boy. Let me get up on out of here.
Oaklander.
And again, we could go on and on and on.
Just one more.
Oakland, I love you, but you don't love me.
Oaklander. Okay, one more.
Oh my God, they melted the basketball court.
Oaklander, last one. That's the best one.
no wonder Trump can say, quote, we're so far gone, we don't even merit a mention. The NAACP of Oakland, the Oakland Police Officers Association, Empower Oakland, the Safe, recall people, their paid agents, bots, and provocateurs. You can't take it back now.
Wait, she thinks there were bots going after her?
They all think that. Hillary Clinton thinks she lost because of the Russians.
Does Pamela Price think that there's a room with like 1,000 monkeys on 1,000 typewriters that were just tweeting out negative things about crime in Oakland?
It was such a peaceful place until the bots got involved.
Also, notice how she lumps in the NAACP with the group of haters because they didn't like what Pamela Price was doing.
No, and they were also supportive of the recall of Sheng.
The NAACP of Oakland, the Oakland Police Officers Association, Empower Oakland, the Safe, recall people, their paid agents, bots, and provocateurs. You can't take it back now. According to your mayoral candidate, Lauren Taylor, Oakland is broken.
Well, it is.
Yeah, that's a controversial statement.
A consequence of years of corruption, mismanagement, and self-dealing
That is also true.
Check, check, check.
that needs to be treated with urgency.
What did the last mayor do? Oh, that's right. She sold a whole bunch of appointments to seats to the dongs.
And now the former district attorney is acting as if it's some kind of fake smear to say that there are ethical problems in Oakland.
Taylor, like Trump, campaigned on a law and order platform.
Wait, now she's tying Lauren Taylor to Donald Trump?
That's the only thing she knows how to do.
Remember when certain recall leaders labeled Barbara Lee as Shang 2.0 and
She's actually more like Shang 0.5 because it's the same policies, but she's not nearly as fun.
Oakland bees!
The one thing she has going for her is that she's old and tired and can do less damage.
Quite frankly,
claimed that Oakland's problems were just a little bit too complex for Barbara Lee, and that Barbara Lee lacks the right priorities to tackle Oakland's pressing issues, especially public safety. The misogynist racist attacks
Okay.
the misogynist racist attacks that worked so well in the recalls were recycled in the mayoral election.
So it must be misogyny then that the Oakland DA was recalled and then appointed by the Board of Supervisors another black woman who people don't have a problem with because she's enforcing the law.
Well, and just to be clear, because this is radio and you can't see the pictures, Lauren Taylor, who's the candidate that she just attempted to gut, is a black male.
He could be racist too, apparently.
The misogynist racist attacks that worked so well in the recalls were recycled in the mayoral election and enhanced with ageism.
That one hits a little close to home too, huh, Pammy?
It was that type of Trump-like right-wing rhetoric that Oaklanders rejected when we elected Barbara Lee. But
Yeah, I still can't understand that one, Oakland.
By the way, it sounds like she's reading this.
Of course. She wrote down this manifesto, and she's reading it off a teleprompter.
But now we must reap what you sowed. It was unimaginable to the Doom Leapers that we could have a black woman mayor after they successfully recalled the first black woman district attorney.
What?
Okay, again, these people wanted to replace Sheng Tao with a black man, Lauren Taylor.
But somehow it's all about race when it comes to Pamela Price. Pamela Price is putting out there that she lost her job not because she was bad at it, but because she's a black woman.
She has one speed.
All of that hate that was spewed all around us is now coming back to haunt us. So what do we do now? Maybe those who spent 2 years trashing Oakland instead of championing our city should apologize.
You're going to be waiting a long time for that phone to ring.
Again, the majority of the complaints about the crime in Oakland come from Oakland.
It's a lot of crime now.
Maybe those who spent 2 years trashing Oakland instead of championing our city should apologize to the rest of us and the world. Maybe even Governor Newsom, who suggested that the CHP was going to replace the Oakland Police Department, or that the Department of Justice, California Department of DOJ, was going to take over the DA's office. Maybe he should apologize.
Okay, I like the fact that she has a bone to pick with him. That I support.
She didn't like that Gavin Newsom ordered Rob Bonta's office to take over when she was not going after drug dealers. So now Gavin's got to apologize for that and for sending in the CHP to deal with the Hagenberger.
What's funny is that none of this matches the current presentation that Gavin Newsom is putting out there.
Hagenberger.
Who needs a prayer vigil for $1 billion food chain that was accused of race discrimination not too long ago? How many black people own In-N-Out Burger franchises? I'll wait. The answer is none.
Pammy, I got news for you. In-N-Out Burger doesn't have franchises.
Okay, do you think someone wrote this for her and she's reading it for the first time, or do you think she wrote this herself?
I can't imagine she has the budget to hire anyone to write for her. She has no employment. She's not even getting sponsorships. She's not hawking any protein pills or penis pills on this podcast.
Okay, if she wrote that herself, with all of the news that's been in every newspaper in the nation, including the financial papers, about In-N-Out Burger and how that business operates, because they're moving their administrative offices from Irvine to Tennessee. If she read one of those articles, it would have told her that Lindsay Snyder owns the entire thing, lock, stock, and barrel.
Their whole business model is they don't franchise, so I don't know necessarily how you can say that that's racist.
Who needs a prayer vigil for $1 billion food chain that was accused of race discrimination not too long ago? How many black people own In-N-Out Burger franchises? I'll wait. The answer is none. I like Five Guys better than In-N-Out Burger anyway.
Okay, between that call yesterday and what she just said there, I'm starting to think that we're the only people that read the paper.
And I don't read the paper. I get all my news from YouTube.
Well, I read the paper, and she should too.
I like Five Guys better than In-N-Out Burger anyway. And they actually have black franchisees.
This is so stupid on so many levels.
I rarely audibly react to things I hear in the car that I'm listening to for show prep. But I had to pause this after I heard that and scream into the air in my car how insane she is.
How did she pass the bar?
That's a good question. Let me play you this one more time as Pamela Price alleges that In-N-Out Burger is a racist company.
Who needs a prayer vigil for $1 billion food chain that was accused of race discrimination not too long ago? How many black people own In-N-Out Burger franchises? I'll wait. The answer is none. I like Five Guys better than In-N-Out Burger anyway. And they actually have black franchisees.
Who out there accused In-N-Out Burger of racism because they don't have any black franchise owners?
By the way, the mission statement of the Pamela Price podcast is to correct all the misinformation that's out there.
I don't even know what to say about that. I really don't.
Okay, I'll play it one more time.
Who needs a prayer vigil for a billion-dollar food chain that was accused of race discrimination not too long ago? How many black people own In-N-Out burger franchises? I'll wait. The answer is none. I like Five Guys better than In-N-Out Burger anyway, and they actually have black franchisees.
If you've ever wondered why one-party rule produces really awful government, this woman was elected as a Democrat in good standing to be the district attorney for Alameda County, which is one of the bigger counties in California. She had the power to put people in jail. She had the power to take away your freedom. And she is this stupid.
I mean, with her outlook, it's almost racial justice that In-N-Out Burger fled the Hagen Burger.
I have to take a break and just let all of this sink in.
Just be glad, everyone, that she's not in any actual power anymore. The power of this podcast that only I listen to isn't that powerful.
If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, you're monitoring the mailbag.
Well, this might surprise you, but people that email us have quite a reaction to Pamela Price accusing In-N-Out Burger of racism. Jason writes in, listening from Kansas at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com on the subject of Oakland. Hey, guys, great start to the show. Got some Pammy trashing our girl Shangy, and that's just wrong. Shang did so well, she got recalled and indicted. LOL, absolutely, absolutely no.
That's right. I like that. That was amazing.
Will writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. Isn't a manifesto something lunatics like Pamela is right Price down just before they go off the deep end? She sounds like she should be committed. John writes in, hey, could you play Pamela Price saying, I like Five Guys followed by... No, I'm sorry, John. I can't do that. That would be a violation of my own ethical standards. Aaron from Campbell writes in and says, jokes on Price. In-N-Out doesn't have franchises. They're privately owned. Eric the mailman writes in and says, hey, cool John and Hot Randy, I've got news for Ms. Price. In-N-Out, absolutely, absolutely family owned, and Lindsay Snyder is the CEO. She should read the news like that moron claim from yesterday. Even biased news is right every now and then. More crash outs from John, please. Nicole writes in and says, what a dummy. In-N-Out is not moving the admin out of California. They're moving back to Baldwin Park and are admitting to the Midwest expansion. Lindsay is also relocating because she doesn't want her kids in California, and I don't blame her. She had to close that Oakland In-N-Out. I went to my sister's In-N-Out in Vallejo 2 weeks ago, and there's a sign out front that says, do not leave any valuables in your car. And Edward writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. Where does she get her newses?
I listen to all the newses.
A friend of mine just texted and said, I'm surprised she likes Five Guys. Isn't that misogynistic? That's true. It's Five Guys. We're the women and we're the transgenders.
5 days?
I guess.
Here, if you missed it earlier this hour, here is Pamela Price accusing In-N-Out Burger of, well, I'm not really sure exactly what anymore.
Who needs a prayer vigil for a billion-dollar food chain that was accused of race discrimination not too long ago? How many black people own In-N-Out burger franchises? I'll wait. The answer is none. I like Five Guys better than In-N-Out Burger anyway, and they actually have black franchisees.
Okay, so I think she was supposed to pause after I'll wait.
She did not.
Someone needs to add instructions into this script.
So you need to say, I'll wait, pause, 1, 2, 3. But the problem is, then she might read that.
Well, Grampy Joe used to do that all the time.
Do we dare continue and see what else Pamela Price had to say in this rant accusing everybody in Oakland of being a racist?
I can only imagine what else is in there.
I hear that some of the fearmongers want to stand behind the first black woman mayor now because they're more scared of the National Guard than they are of her. A good choice. More people, from business leaders to pastors to state and congressional politicians, need to step up and tell the world that Oakland is incredibly diverse and proud of it.
Yeah, but is it safe?
That's the knock. The knock is that it's not safe.
John, if you look at the rundown today, I have 2 crime blotter stories. Where are they both located?
Well, if it's not Oakland.
That we bring culture and flavor and food to the Bay that stands out from anything San Francisco or San Jose has to offer.
San Francisco might want to talk to you about that.
Didn't Oakland just rename its airport to San Francisco?
Yes. And sure, Oakland has a good food scene, but now you're going after San Francisco's food scene, which is one of the best food cities in the state?
Well, arguably, it's one of the best in the country.
That we have beautiful and vibrant neighborhoods. That we have
Which ones are on fire right now?
Just the basketball courts.
that we have an amazing port that is a major international trade hub and the economic driver for the entire Bay Area.
Not unless the coal guys take it over.
Didn't pirates take it over at one point?
That's right. In the estuary and around the ports, there were pirates in Oakland last year. Stories that only seem to happen in Oakland or in the movies.
That we have a world-class science center.
Okay, I don't know if anybody's talking about that. You also have the Kaiser Permanente headquarters, where they have told their employees that you need armed security to escort you to your car.
And you used to have professional sports, but they're all gone. All 3 of them.
And a fabulous zoo.
See, this is the problem with all the doom loopers. They never talked about the Oakland Zoo.
Now, somehow that got lost.
That we have the best Dia de las Muertos festival in the Bay.
Okay. If you're going to celebrate that, you might want to learn how to pronounce it.
Her speaking Spanish is right up there with Lucy Ricardo attempting to do so on I Love Lucy.
That we have the best Dia de las Muertos festival in the
Dia.
That we have the best Dia de las Muertos festival in the Bay.
It's Dia de los Muertos, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I can't speak any foreign languages, and I can pronounce it correctly.
That we have the best Dia de las Muertos festival in the Bay.
By the way, she went female and then she went male because she said de las muertos.
Las is feminine, los is masculine.
I guess that holiday is transgender too.
You learn something new every day.
That we have the best Dia de las Muertos festival in the Bay.
You think she was one of those Latinx people?
100%.
And that our people are our greatest asset. And we love Oakland.
Well, our people in Oakland would just like to not get robbed.
Yeah, could we just start with that as the baseline?
I mean, you do know what that's like.
I've been bipped several times. And we love Oakland. How about that? Other cities have problems just like Oakland. But instead they celebrate the positive.
No, we call that out too.
We have installments to the crime blotter from all over the state of California.
Every city in the Bay gets a taste. There's just more of those stories in Oakland than there are in San Jose.
It's just true.
People still go to Chicago and New Orleans and New York and D.C. and Portland, even San Francisco and other major cities, even though they struggle with crime, addiction, and homeless encampments.
Yes, but all of those are more pronounced in Oakland.
It's really hard to find a major American city that produces the completely bonkers crime stories on a regular basis, other than Oakland.
I think Oakland constantly ties with Los Angeles for the most insane crime stories that we get.
Because if we were to just do a normal crime story, it's not particularly interesting because people get robbed all the time. There is public corruption that goes on all the time. The details from the crime stories in Oakland are always so unbelievable that you're captivated by it.
Where is the positive energy for Oakland? We need to get our heads on straight and our hearts raised up for Oakland. It's time to change the narrative with the conviction in our hearts that Oakland is a great city.
How about by cleaning it up? Then people will be happy.
That would be a great way to bring people back, because you're right. Oakland is located in a beautiful part of the state of California. You're right on the water. The view is of San Francisco. You had storied professional franchises in your city. If you would have just done the nuts and bolts of running a government, throw the ball, catch the ball, hit the ball, people would be happy to live there. People would be happy to spend money there, happy to visit there. But you allowed it to spiral into the destructive hellhole that it became, and now you want to blame the rest of us.
And that we don't need billionaires and fascists to tell us how to live here. Otherwise, welcome the National Guard.
So there you go. In case you haven't subscribed to Pamela Price's podcast, that's what it is.
She called me a crime boss.
If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, you're monitoring the mailbag.
Mike writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com, highlighting some of Oakland's culinary delights. Dining in Oakland comes with a chance of dying from lead poisoning. Guys, some of the best cooked crack comes out of Oakland. Greg writes in, Oakland is incredibly diverse. Crackheads, meth heads, smash and grabbers, bippers, and basketball court burners. It's a melting pot of squalor.
800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Dale in Long Beach. Dale, hello.
Hello, I looked up on my computer. There are no Five Guy restaurants in Oakland. She'll be having to go to Altadena or Haywood.
Closest one is Emeryville. That's amazing, Dale.
Thanks.
Wow. In Oakland, they don't even have Three Guys.
Pamela Price claims that In-N-Out is racist because they don't have any black franchisees, even though they don't have franchises to begin with, and she prefers Five Guys, and there are no Five Guys burgers and fries in the city of Oakland, let alone on the Hagen Burger.
Do you realize how long it would take to clear up that woman's confusion? Let's go to Chris in Studio City. Chris, hello.
Hi, you guys. I was calling about there's no franchises of In-N-Out at all, but this is an example of people who don't have the facts right. They're not talking through their mouth. They're not talking through their nose. They're talking through some other orifice in their body, and they just don't know or care.
Well, I'll go back to the first point that you made because we don't have a lot of time left for this hour about Pamela Price being ill-informed. And one of the reasons that I don't fight with people on social media over politics or sports or entertainment or anything else is that frequently the people on social media who have the strongest opinions are the most ill-informed. They don't know the basic facts of what they're talking about. And if you don't know the basic facts of what you're talking about, it's very hard to have an opinion that you've thought through. And so if you're trying to debate someone who doesn't even understand the basics of what's going on, let alone basing an opinion off of relevant information, you're just wasting your time. You're never going to convince them that they're wrong. You're never going to convince them that you're right. What's so strange about Pamela Price is you would expect an elected official to at least be somewhat familiar with what's going on, somewhat familiar with the facts, because theoretically, those people have to deal with these issues on a regular basis. They're the ones that get to impact public policy. They're the ones that get to decide who is the winner and who is the loser when it comes to any number of political food fights. And for someone like her to be so ignorant of the basic facts, it really goes to show you that here in the state of California, one of the reasons that we have the government that we have is because we have people like her in elected office. And I don't think this is something that is unique to her, sadly. I think there are a number of people, and some of them are on the LA City Council, for example, that when you hear them speak and you hear them talk about these subjects, it becomes clear from the moment they open their mouth, they have no idea what they're talking about. And we have a lot of them here.
And you know what happens when you point it out to them? They say they have an ad hominem attack about you being a racist.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Either you can buy an In-N-Out franchise or you can't. She made the factual claim that that company is racist because they don't sell franchises to black people. Well, I guess that's true. They don't sell franchises to black people because they don't sell franchises to anyone. The family owns the company. But if that's the information that she's bringing to the table, imagine having a meaningful conversation with her. It's just not possible. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Mike in Castro Valley. Mike, hello.
Hey, how you guys doing? Ever since I started hearing you guys.
Go ahead, sir. You cut out there a second.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, so ever since I listened to you guys are really hitting the California issues. I live right next to Oakland, and I got to tell you, that place is a dump. It's been a dump for like 30 years. I was working, I was stationed at Alameda Naval Station before they closed it, and they've never cleaned that city up. No businesses there because they don't want to work there because that's why he's moved out and stuff like that, because the place is a hole.
And you guys in Castro Valley, you're in the same county as Oakland, so you get the Pamela Prices of the world, the county elected officials.
Oh, yeah. Holy cow. I don't think I have enough time on this radio show to explain just how inept she really is.
Well, thankfully, that woman was recalled from office. Let's go to Cardi in Lancaster. Cardi, hello.
Hey, JP, how you doing?
Good.
Quick. So, typical blue cities. High crime, no business. And then when businesses leave, it's always the racism card. Yeah, you know what? That's getting old. Why don't you clean up your city, get people training to work in maybe some blue-collar jobs like we really need, like welders, carpenters, electricians, HVAC, and maybe you could clean up that dump. My 2 cents.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir.